All right, so this next one we have is from Parker B. And what Parker says is, why does the Steelers offense never really start strong besides the Titans game? I think for me, what I always see is a rhythm thing. With Ben in particular, he is a very rhythmic passer. We see when he gets going, he gets going. But we've also seen when he struggles a little bit, it takes some time for him to get going and stuff like that and ultimately start to execute. I feel like that's just the biggest thing from the offensive standpoint. And then obviously yesterday you have the drops. The drops were huge. But early on, and we've talked about this now for a couple of weeks, with our offense, the short passing attack works really well. We see that they have a lot of success moving the ball. But in terms of the explosiveness that we're accustomed to seeing right now, we say if they don't connect on the deep ball or draw a flag, they really don't provide a lot in that standpoint consistently. That's, I think, is the biggest difference too. When we talk about the Chiefs, they're not relying upon the penalties. They connect on those plays. Whereas yesterday we saw, I mean, we were praying for the penalty. I mean, the one was on Marlon Humphrey, and we both kind of said that I didn't think it was a good call at all, man.
You know, I'm good with it. Yeah, is it 50-50? It goes in our favor, you know, whatever.
But to me, that's the thing with this offense. It's like I don't see them just flat out kill guys downfield right now. We see them either it connects and it's like, all right, it connected this week and then we got to wait 2 more weeks for it to connect again, or we get a ton of downfield PI penalties, which helps us a ton. And then from there, we're able to get going. But to me, that doesn't really spark consistency from a downfield passing attack. And I think that the rest of it, when you talk about just when you're going that short to intermediate passing that we see them do successfully, that's rhythm. So if your rhythm is off early on, that's going to hinder that from happening. And we already talked about how the downfield passing, with the issues with that are.
Now, I'm curious about this because we have been doing the quick passes and stuff, and we've talked about how clean Ben has been this whole year. Do you think that's out of necessity as opposed to us just not doing it? From the line standpoint, do you think they would be on us a little bit more if we weren't doing this short stuff?
I honestly think it's a mix of both. I think Ben has transitioned to that because he does see that with the protection at times, and we said early on, especially at times, it was a little bit leaky, and then you obviously were mixing and matching with some of the injuries. So you do that to combat it. So that was part of that. But then the other part was, if you know you have guys like Deontay, who we highlighted all offseason, we said you want to get him the ball early because he's a guy that makes you miss. We're not necessarily, he can give you downfield plays, but I feel like his bread and butter is you get him the ball 2-3 yards away from the line of scrimmage, just let him make a guy miss and just be athletic, whether it's a stop route, whether it's a screen, whether it's a drag. When he's getting the ball like that, we're all excited because we just know how dynamic he is. So I think that's another reason why. And then with Juju, you think about with him, right? We say Juju's not a blazer, but you work him short, the intermediate. That's where you want to work with him at. And that's another part of why you get the ball off fast. You're not worrying about Juju running a 20 or 30 yard vertical or 7. It's like, no, let me get him, it's a matchup on a linebacker, a matchup on a smaller DB. Let me throw a jump ball to him 5-7 yards downfield, let him catch it, make something happen afterwards. So I think all of those things have played into why they get rid of the ball in terms of Ben getting rid of the ball so fast. But that's why it works though, because their personnel matches that, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm trying to think if there's anything else on that. No. Yeah, I think you answered it perfectly. I gave my little insight, but yeah.
I like it, man. I like it. Oh, man, we did kind of step on this question, so we'll skip over that one. I didn't even think about it.
What?
No, it's because that's about Highsmith, but I'm like, we technically already.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think we got it all.
This segment was brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sports booking app. And for all the first-time users out there, if you use the promo code Moats, you will receive up to $1,000 in deposit bonus money. Now, we know that's a lot of money, but we also know that sports booking isn't allowed everywhere just yet. But you know what it is?
Fantasy football.
Fantasy football. And with DraftKings right now, what they have going on, man, they are giving up to $1 million in prize money every single week. Did you hear that? I don't know if you heard that correctly. $1 million in prize money every week when you use their fantasy football app. I mean, it's an amazing situation. You love fantasy football, right?
Yeah, I do.
I love fantasy football. Sometimes I love it a little bit too much because of DraftKings. So With that being said, stop wasting time. Download both apps, the DraftKings Sportsbook and DraftKings Fantasy Football. Use the promo code MOATS, and let's get an opportunity to make some money.